Are there adventurers in your campaign setting? Obviously, there are some, there's the player characters, right? But do other people choose to become adventurers? Is it a job title? Is it a profession? Some people will become blacksmiths, some people will become priests, some people will become soldiers. Do people decide to become adventurers? Do children grow up thinking, when I'm big and strong and grown up, I'm going to be an adventurer? If you think about it, if you think about the typical fantasy settings from literature, that one, for example, that's quite a famous one, then you don't tend to get adventurers as a profession. I suppose in The Lord of the Rings, the only thing I can really think of is Aragorn in his youth voyages into the south and we don't really know what he does. Maybe he's an adventurer. But it's more common in fantasy literature for the heroes to come from ordinary backgrounds and have adventure essentially thrust upon them. That might be an exception. Good old Conan, I think, probably counts as an adventurer. But exception rather than the rule. And certainly in epic fantasy, most epic fantasy, again, you get either the farm boy trope or at least somebody from a fairly ordinary background who, as I said, has adventure thrust upon them. The adventurer as a profession is more likely to occur in settings that are more directly inspired by Dungeons and Dragons and similar games. Often computer games take this. Often computer games have this approach, and you'll find the adventurer as a profession in a number of computer games, but also literary settings like Dragonlance or Forgotten Realms, which are obviously D&D inspired and based on D&D. Adventurer parties are common. Now, whether to have adventuring as a profession or not, it seems like quite a small question, but it has quite big implications on the reality, the realism of your setting, and how your campaign is going to work. If adventuring is a profession, then presumably there are retired adventurers. Some of these people might be innkeepers, local lords, high priests, town guards.
I used to be an adventurer like you. Then I took an arrow in the knee.
But if every town is full of retired and presumably experienced adventurers, why do we need the player characters? When the evil necromancer threatens the local realm with his undead legion, why is it the first level player characters who are helping out? Why isn't it the experienced but retired wizard and cleric and 10th level fighter who happens to be running the local tavern? What are they doing? Why leave it to the player characters? Now, you as a dungeon master, games master, you need to have an answer to this, because otherwise your campaign doesn't make sense. There might be a number of answers, but possibly the simplest answer is just this. Adventuring isn't a common profession.